No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. AEW's Fight for the Fallen special. We had good old JR Jim Ross back on commentary for the entire show. I'm not sure if that experiment is over or not, as far as him doing the second hour of Dynamite and then doing Rampage. He was doing both hours of Dynamite this week. We kicked off the show with an AEW interim world title match. We had Jon Moxley defending his championship against Lio Rush. I like to call him Lio Rush. He's just Rush, but I call him Lio Rush. And Rush blindsided him right off the bat. He fought with Moxley on the outside, and Moxley was bit in the head and was bleeding. Rush started rubbing the blood off of Moxley's forehead and licked it, wiped it on himself. What a sicko. Tried to use a chair while Jose, the assistant, was distracting the referee, but he was unsuccessful. Then he grabbed the cords on the outside of the ring for production. He was choking Moxley with the cords. Back in the ring, they traded some chops, and Rush used Moxley's own momentum against him, hit a snap German suplex, and put on a crossface. Moxley started biting the wrist to break the crossface, and Andrade ended up coming down to the ring. Moxley got on the top. He was knocked off by Andrade. Once again, the referee distracted. You had the Lucha Brothers running down. They chased Andrade away, and Rush hit the straight jacket pile driver. Moxley kicked out of that. Moxley hit the Death Rider. Rush was able to kick out of that, and then Moxley immediately went into the Bulldog choke and scored the submission victory. Good match here to open up the show. We had a little bit of blood, and Colin pointed out that William Regal said that Rush was too dangerous for WWE to even hire. And as far as the guy with the box over his head, that is Kip Sabian, and I'm not sure what the deal is with him. I think he's been doing that for a while now, and I'm not sure what it's leading towards. I really don't care personally. We had a little backstage interview with Dante Martin prior to his match with Sammy Guevara, and he said that Sammy has been taking too many vacations, and he's going to have a little bit of backup since Ty Conti is in Sammy's corner. Dante said he's going to have Blue Sky in his corner. Now, I forgot to mention the post-match from after Moxley won. Totally forgot this. This was actually a big part of the show. We had Chris Jericho and company show up, and you had the little introduction, the AEW Galaxy, appreciate them. And Jericho said Moxley has done a great job as champion, but nothing compared to the role that the Jericho Appreciation Society is on. Basically, Jericho challenging Moxley to an interim world title match. It's been over 2 years. Jericho finally getting his world title rematch, and that will happen in 2 weeks at the Quake at the Lake, whatever it's called, episode of Dynamite in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And you had Anna Jay out there as well. She's part of the Jericho Appreciation Society now. She cut a little promo and threatened to choke out everybody in the audience. She said she's the new Anna Jay. She's Anna J-A-S. Get it? Moxley responded, said that he hates this sports entertainment bullshit. He used to look up to Chris Jericho. He wants a different Jericho. He wants the old school Lionheart Chris Jericho, who was the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon. We got this set up for 2 weeks. I'm all for it. We had Danhausen challenging Ricky Starks for the FTW title, which, of course, not officially a title in AEW, but it's used nonetheless, basically a prop. And you had a Ricky Starks vignette before the match. Pretty cool. Ricky definitely gives me early Rocky Maivia vibes with the turtleneck sweatshirt. So this was basically a squash match, as it should have been. Ricky took down Danhausen with a boot, mocked the curse. Danhausen got a little bit of offense, but it was a quick match, like 2 minutes tops. Ricky Starks wins, and afterwards he got on the mic. He said that the Danhausen was very nice, very evil, but not absolute. Then he issued another challenge and said that this would be for real. He's not going to back out or postpone it. He issued a challenge, and Hook accepted the challenge. Hook had the support of his hookers, and he hit Ricky Starks with some body shots, hit a suplex. Crowd was chanting, F him up, Hook. And they were firmly behind Hook. As much as Ricky Starks is over with the fans, like when Hook was out there, the crowd was firmly behind Hook. This was AEW's first show in Worcester, Massachusetts, and there were a lot of hookers in attendance. And Starks hit the spear, but then tried to go for a submission, and Hook was able to counter that. Hook got the red rum submission on, and Ricky Starks tapped out. So we have a brand new FTW champion. Taz's son Hook now holds that title, and Ricky Starks, in a very babyface-like move, gave Hook a fist bump, showing a sign of respect. Now, afterwards, we had another segment after the commercial break. Tony Schiavone was there interviewing Ricky Starks. Starks said he was okay with losing. He said that people thought the FTW title was a noose, but he made it into a tie. He said that he exceeded all the expectations, and his goddamn time is right now. But then Swerve, and I'm not talking about Swerve Strickland, Powerhouse Hobbs, who was in the ring, double-crossed, betrayed his longtime tag team partner. Will Hobbs laid out Ricky Starks, took him down with the spine buster. So I guess this is an official babyface turn for Ricky Starks. He did a great job with the promo, by the way. Lots of passion and energy, and the crowd was firmly behind him. They've been cheering him for the longest time. So this looks like the beginning of a big push for Ricky Starks. Get the FTW title off of him and start building him up for perhaps something bigger. And bigger as in Powerhouse Hobbs, at least for the short term. Good angle here. I liked it. And I think it's definitely the right time to turn Ricky. We had the Acclaimed cutting a little backstage promo, and they were hyping up Rampage, talking about how they're going to roast the Ass Boys again with a music video, and they're going to take out the Trash Boys on Rampage. We had Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin, which Dante cut that promo earlier. Dante was getting a lot of offense in this one, showing off his agility. Sammy Guevara tried to leave. Dante ran up and attacked him on the ramp, and then Dante did this running somersault dive off the stage onto Sammy. Back in the ring, Dante came off the top and landed on his feet and then hit this standing Spanish fly. Sammy kicked out. Dante tried to put away Sammy again, another kick out. And then Sammy managed to avoid getting hit with Dante's finisher. And then Sammy hit the springboard cutter. Then he hit the go to hell and picked up the victory. Now afterwards, Sammy and Ty Conti wanted to continue the attack, but Sky Blue got in the ring and stopped them. We then had Anna Jay run down. She attacked Sky Blue. And you had Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and Ruby Soho all running down to make the save. So is Eddie Kingston's storyline with Jericho over? Jericho's going for the world title now. Maybe, maybe not. I still think we could see another match with Jericho and Kingston at All Out, but at least this week it seems like they're going in separate directions, but who knows? Backstage, we had Daniel Garcia with a promo talking about how he's been getting better in several weeks, week after week. He's continuing to improve his skills while Bryan Danielson's been out on the injured list, gardening with his wife and kids. And Garcia said he's going to send Bryan on another vacation. We had Jay Lethal with his crew, the big guy and Sanjay Dutt. Jay Lethal brought up how Samoa Joe retained his ROH title with an illegal choke. And then the Best Friends showed up, and I guess there's going to be a trios match, and I'll get to that in a second here as far as trios matches go. The trios match was set up for Rampage, but then Sanjay Dutt immediately regretted accepting the match. So earlier in the show, it was announced that there will be officially trios titles in AEW, which I'm a fan of, but I do think they have too many titles. That's why I wasn't a big fan of the All-Atlantic Championship being introduced. Just, I would rather have the trios title and leave it at that. But yeah, they're doing the trios titles, and I remember Tony Khan saying that they wanted to introduce those titles when Kenny Omega was back and could be part of that division. We very well could see that happening now that the trios titles have officially been announced. There's been talk about Omega possibly coming back soon. We had Jungle Boy coming down to the ring with Luchasaurus. They are back together again. And Tony Schiavone was there, but like Tony Schiavone really doesn't do a lot these days. He stands in the ring, the guy takes the mic, and we never hear from Tony again. You know, it's not like the old days where Tony actually asked questions and it kind of, you know, went back and forth with the person he was interviewing. We had Jungle Boy very fired up, calling Christian the biggest pussy that he's ever met, and talked about all the bullshit that Christian has said about his entire family. Jungle Boy said that Christian is more relevant than he's ever been in his life. And then Jungle Boy decided to go strong with the insults, saying that Christian is strapped for cash because his wife divorced his ass. We then had Christian interrupting in the backstage area. Christian said that Luchasaurus made a big mistake and threw away all of his potential just to be Jungle Boy's lapdog. Christian said that Jungle Boy might have the monster, but Christian still has the advantage because Christian knows Jungle Boy's secrets and is going to prey on Jungle Boy's weakness. Christian did a great job here. Jungle Boy, in my opinion, delivery was okay. He's using profanity, saying the swear words to get the pop. But it showed some fire. Not at Ricky Starks' level, but it was good to see Jungle Boy showing a little bit of personality and showing a little bit of passion. That was a good thing. And I'm sure if he does it more often, he'll just get better at it. We had Brandon Cutler backstage with the Young Bucks, pitching himself to be part of the Trios division, going for the Trios titles, but the Bucks, of course, not interested. They then ran into Hangman Adam Page, and then the Dark Order showed up. They're still a thing, and they wished Page a happy birthday, and the Young Bucks just kind of walked away. I guess the plot thickens. What's going to happen with Adam Page? Is he going to reunite with the Young Bucks? I know a lot of people that have followed these guys for years love this storyline. I'm like, whatever right now. I really don't care if they reunite or not, but I was still thinking Kenny Omega was going to be back with the Bucks. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we get some kind of swerve. Dr. Scorpio with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Scorpio. Says, R.I.P. Luchasaurus. I can't even say it. I can't say Minneapolis, and I can't say Luchasaurus except for right now. Rest in peace, Luchasaurus. Short heel run. Hope it's a swerve. I think it has to be, and thank you for the super chat. I really do think that Luchasaurus will end up back with Christian. Like, he was doing great with that stuff with Christian over the past several weeks, and I think it's just part of the story here that Luchasaurus is really conflicted, but I think he's going to go dark and will probably help Christian beat Jungle Boy whenever they have their match. Oh, and by the way, Joey Perez brings up Bucks and Omega versus Cole and Red Dragon for the Trios titles finals. Well, next week, the Undisputed Elite will be back. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, they're advertised for next week's show. Makes sense with the Trios titles. And that was what I was always expecting, like that it would be Cole's group versus Omega and the Bucks. And I could very well see that being the match for the Trios titles. And where Page goes, maybe Page in the Dark Order. Whatever. We had Tony Nese teaming up with Smart Mark Sterling against Swerve. Keith Lee banned from ringside, a handicapped match. And let's not forget House of Black, too. They could potentially go for the titles. I mean, I would expect them to be in the tournament. And Dr. Scorpio, as far as both factions being heels, you would think the Bucks and Omega would be the faces. I mean, I guess that's not necessarily the case. Like, Omega's going to get a big pop when he comes back, and the fans do like Adam Cole a lot, and I really feel they should turn Cole face. But, yeah, I suspect it would be Omega and the Bucks, with Omega coming back and getting a big reaction. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Anyways, the handicap match, Mark Sterling was trying to distract Swerve. He grabbed at Swerve's hair, and that led to Nese getting the advantage for a while. But then Sterling accidentally got tagged in when Nese bumped into him, and Swerve came over the top rope with a big stomp onto Nese, and then got his hands on Sterling in the ring, pinned Sterling. Then we cut to the back where Keith Lee had been attacked by this guy, Josh Woods. I know nothing about the guy. Kind of looked like Brody King a little bit without all the tattoos. Basically Brody King without tats. And then Tony Nese attacked Swerve from behind and grabbed the tag team title. So I guess Tony Nese and Josh Woods for the tag team titles. Do not think they will be winning those titles, but we'll see. Highly unlikely in all likelihood. But you gotta have somebody, a couple of guys for Swerve and Our Glory to beat as champions. We had a House of Black vignette, and footage was shown from Comic-Con in San Diego where they attacked Darby Allin, and people have been asking, where is Buddy Matthews? He's in Australia right now. He should be back pretty soon. At least that's what I understand. We had footage shown of Pac retaining the All-Atlantic title on a couple of occasions, and one of those matches was shown on Dark. Basically, it's just like an international indie title for Pac to defend in different companies, since he's not in the United States all the time. He goes back and forth between England and the U.S., so I guess when he's not in the U.S., have him defend the title representing AEW. I get the idea, but I still think there's too many titles. And then 9:25-ish, you know what that means. When it's 9:25 on a Wednesday night, you know it's time for the AEW women's match of the evening. We had, let me try to pronounce this and not butcher it, Miyu Yamashita against Thunder Rosa for the championship. Thunder Rosa, the champion. Now, they had a match in Japan, and Yamashita beat her. So she gets the AEW championship match. Match was fine. No real issues with it. Pretty standard women's match. It was good. It was a decent match. And they went back and forth. Yamashita got plenty of offense in. Hit a German suplex. Rosa kicked out of that. She hit a spinning kick. Rosa grabbed the rope, and she kept going for more kicks. And Rosa managed to catch her and then hit the Fire Thunder Driver. Got the win to retain the title. And another thing I forgot to mention, although they said this towards the end, we have AEW debuting in Canada coming up in October 12th, I believe. AEW Dynamite in Toronto at the Coca-Cola Coliseum, which is actually not a stadium. You might read Coliseum and think it's some really big venue. It's actually a pretty small venue. WWE tends to run house shows there. I think it's like 8,000 seat, 9,000 seats, something in that neighborhood. So they're doing that, and then they're coming back the next day on a Thursday for an AEW Rampage taping, which I believe is the first time that they're doing this, where they're taping Rampage on a Thursday. That's interesting. I don't know if that means anything, or if they're just deciding to do two shows. Why they're not doing Rampage on the Friday? Maybe it's just more cost effective to do it on the Thursday. Maybe something was booked on a Friday. So yeah, Dynamite on Wednesday, and then they're taping Rampage on the Thursday. Shout out to Gary Joe, who was at Dynamite. I'm a little surprised that they didn't debut Canada for like Full Gear or do a pay-per-view in Toronto. I'm a little surprised they're just doing a Dynamite and not a pay-per-view. We had our main event of the evening, Daniel Garcia going up against the returning Bryan Danielson. You had Chris Jericho on commentary for this one. Bryan was fired up. Bryan went right after Garcia. Crowd was loving this. They were chanting "Welcome back," and they fought all around the ringside area. Garcia managed to finally get the upper hand after Bryan dominated early. Garcia threw Bryan into the barricade, and Garcia exposed the concrete, and then they were back in the ring, but Bryan came off the top rope with a missile drop kick. Now, here's where the match got into a whole different gear, because Bryan started selling like he hit the back of his head on the mat. And of course, we all know the reports that Bryan reportedly suffered a concussion, and we know his history with concussion. So the story in this match now was that Bryan maybe came back too soon. Jericho was mentioning this on commentary, and Bryan acting like he hurt his head. So Bryan started to make a comeback, but then he collapsed, rolled to the outside, and then he was DDT'd on the concrete by Garcia. Bryan was busted open, and Garcia started biting at the wound, which I thought was cool. The only thing I didn't like, I guess, nitpicking really though, they already did the busted open deal with Moxley at the beginning of the show, and Roosh was, licking the wound and rubbing the blood on himself. So they did that at the beginning of the show. Like, I don't think you need two blood spots on the same show. Like, if they didn't do it in Moxley's match, I think this would have had a little bit more impact. Bryan managed to start making a comeback, and he hit the yes kicks, and they were both going back and forth on the mat. Bryan managed to get really into high gear when Garcia slapped him. Bryan hit the running knee. He went for the label lock, but Garcia was able to roll to the outside. Bryan came off the apron with another running knee, got Garcia back into the ring. Jericho was still on commentary, and he was not happy with Bryan, even though Bryan was getting this huge reaction. Jericho still not a fan of Bryan Danielson. And then as Bryan was getting back into the ring, you had somebody grab at the foot of Bryan, and Garcia used that to his advantage. Garcia hit a pile driver, put on the sharpshooter, leaned back with it, which I like, and then Bryan passed out. So there you have it. Daniel Garcia defeated Bryan Danielson in Bryan's comeback match. I was a little surprised. I did not expect Daniel Garcia to win this. So arguably the biggest win of Garcia's career, defeating Bryan Danielson in the main event. Of course, he had the help of Jake Hager, who was revealed as the guy that was grabbing Bryan's leg. Jericho got in the ring, celebrated with his buddies, and that was the end. Really good match here to end the show, and I like what they did. I know some people feel it's exploiting a real-life injury, but, I mean, they did the thing with Shawn Michaels, SummerSlam 2002. Michaels, the broken back deal, and when he came back, they played that up in the match with Triple H. So they did the same thing here. They know Bryan has the history. Fans know it. So they made that part of the story. And I saw people on Twitter thinking that maybe Bryan was really hurt. So it worked. It definitely worked. And Garcia picks up a big win here. Good friend of No DQ, frequent contributor Walter Cruz, sending a very generous $30 super chat. Very much appreciated, Walter. He says, not much, but here's a little something for everything you and Caitlin are going through. Hope it helps, and thanks, brother. Hashtag say yes to No DQ. Please share and like. We very much appreciate it, Walter. For those of you that missed it, you guys know on Monday night I had to shut down the stream early. I got some very unfortunate news that Caitlin's mom passed away, and we had to go up to the house Tuesday, and it was a rough day on Tuesday, but every day, just take it day by day. That's how we're handling things. So thank you, Walter, and thank you to everybody that sent your messages, and people that were checking on me, asking what happened with the stream and everything. And I very much appreciate all the love and support from you guys. I really do appreciate it. And Gabe sent in a $5 super chat. Says, just wanted to send condolences to you, your wife, and your family. Again, I very much appreciate it, Gabe. You guys are great. Caitlin was very touched, and Caitlin's sister Jennifer was very touched by all of your messages. They saw everything that was on the Facebook post. So thank you guys very much for that. Overall, Dynamite was a good show. I enjoyed it. I think it was a stronger show than last week. Definitely a main event that was better received and I think better executed with the storytelling. So I'm giving it a solid B. Good show this week. I liked the main event, and there was nothing on the show that I really thought was a negative. It wasn't like a top tier Dynamite, but very enjoyable show. So I would recommend it. Main event for sure. I thought was very well done. So that's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in and continuing to support NoDQ.com. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And any way you can help out with promotion, tell a friend, like anybody who you talk wrestling with, friend, family member, somebody on Facebook, somebody on Twitter, tag them and let them see this video. And any word of mouth, it goes a very long way. So thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay positive, and I will see you all next time. Remember, say yes to NoDQ.com. Take care, everybody.